Okay, welcome back. Sticks and Stones by Stryper. I thought that was a perfect song for today's study about Hagar, because if you remember anything about her, or if you don't know, I will tell you a little bit real quick. She was treated real badly by Sarah because she was beautiful and she was pregnant with Abraham's son. And so, but that song came from the No More Hell to Pay CD that was released in November of 2013. And all of their songs on that CD were really good. And I hear tell they're in the studio again, and you should go to Stryper.com and look at all their music there. It's really good if you're into that kind of thing. And I kind of am, as you can tell. Okay, just got this shirt in the mail today. It was from their history tour, and this shirt's only $7.77 right now if you go on their tour. Yeah, I thought I'd wear the hat. I wore this hat at the second Stryper concert I'd ever been to, which was the last Stryper concert I'd been to. Because the first one, they came to Spokane in 2006, and then a few years later, they went to Seattle, and I took my pastor and his wife, and we all went, and my pastor ended up going online and buying all their CDs after that concert. So, yeah, they were in a club in Seattle, and it was really tight, but it was good. His Michael Sweet's son's band opened up, Flight Patterns, at the time. He's not in that band no more. And Remington Drive was there. They were really good. And then I got a chance to meet Michael Bloodgood, which is the bass player for the group Bloodgood, which now he is a Calvary Chapel pastor. So pretty cool. And this is a bass that I actually made. I bought a black bass and striped it. I thought I did pretty good on it. It's a 5-string. And I still play it. I play it at church, whenever they let me get up and play. Mostly I'm the drummer there, but because they can hide me. So, okay. Well, hey, we're going to jump right into Hagar. And if you've got your book, the 100, go to page 25. And if you are just tuning in today, go to my page, Pentecostal Evangelical Church. You can go to our website, pec.today, and go to media, drop down to YouTube, and all the videos of this book, it starts with Aaron, works all the way down, and you'll be able to find this one, and it goes in order with my book, okay? So, so anytime you get the book, it's on Amazon for $13.99. You can start from the beginning. I had my son on my first video. That was fun. And then from there, I just kind of went on. So, but before we get into that, we're going to go into the prayer requests like we do every time now. And I just want to bring up the numbers from yesterday. We had 1,836 people that died from the coronavirus. And as of today at 2:35, which is like right about now, we're at 2,409 people that's died. So in just one day, we've had over 500 people die of this virus. And it keeps going up. And so we really need to pray that God will step in and help out here, but also pray for his will, because he may want this to go on for a while for people to really get an idea that they need to cry out to God like they did in the Old Testament, okay? And so, but I do pray for the families, because the thing is these families can't be with their loved ones when they die, because they have that virus and they don't want to catch it. And that's got to be the worst thing, to die by yourself, especially if you don't have Jesus. Now, if we have Jesus, for us, it's okay. For the family members, it's not okay, okay? But it's never okay when somebody dies of something like this. It's just really tough. And we are a nation that is very, very technology savvy, so we should be coming up with something to cure this. But, God isn't going to allow it. If God doesn't want it, he's not going to allow it. So we can try to come up with everything, and unless he allows it, it ain't going to happen. So let's just pray for a quick end. He wants to hear from us. Okay, so all right, I want to pray for Pastor TC's ministry. He's kind of having a hard time getting the word out there to his people, and I just pray that these people stay connected to him, and that they call him and encourage him, because he can call his flock and encourage them. But, pastors need encouragement too. And so please be praying for Pastor TC. He's a dear friend of mine. And so, and then Reverend James Kay, you've heard me talk about him. He is a prophetic minister in Pennsylvania. Oh, by the way, Pastor TC's in Dallas, and Reverend James K. He's a prophetic minister in Pennsylvania, and he's in our PEC organization. So please be praying for his ministry as well, and praying that God can use him where he's at. Okay, so that's my 3 prayer requests, and I'm still waiting for y'all to kind of log in there and let me know your prayer requests. Okay, and we'll get right on that. Okay, so let's talk about Hagar. Okay, her name in the Hebrew, which is right here, means flight, which every time she got upset, she took off. Okay, and I get that. Okay, as I read the story, and she was kind of roped into this whole thing anyways. I don't know if that she wanted to have a baby with Abraham in the first place, but you know, she just took off every time things got tough. But let's do some of the facts before we get into the story. She lived from 1930 BC to 1840 BC. Okay, and then so if we count backwards, okay, that's 90 years. Okay, so she was actually an Egyptian. So the word could be from an unknown Egyptian origin. Okay. And she was Abraham's wife's slave or servant or whatever you want to call her, but she served Sarah. And in Genesis chapter 16, Hagar is basically made to be the surrogate mother because Abraham and Sarah, see, God had promised them a son. Well, here 10 years down the road, no son. So they're kind of figuring that God gave up on them, and they decide to make Hagar give birth to Abraham's son, so he'd have a son. And so not very cool, not at all. They didn't trust God, and they suffered for it. But when Hagar started to show, Sarah started to get jealous because number one, she was beautiful according to the Bible, and she was young, and so she started treating Hagar badly. Now, let me back up here. The Bible actually doesn't say that she was beautiful, but many commentaries will state that she probably was beautiful. And so, but let's not make that a fact, okay? I actually, as I'm thinking about it now, I didn't read anything about she was beautiful, but she was younger, okay? So, anyways, let's get back on track here. I just wanted to, I wanted to fix that right now, okay? And so, but because of this, Hagar got upset. She took off, and this is according to the verses of 5 through 7. So in chapter 16, 5 through 7, let's read that. Then Sarah said to Abram, "My wrong be upon you. I gave my maid into your embrace, and when she saw that she had conceived, I became despised in her eyes." So in other words, she felt that she was being disrespected by her, okay? "The Lord judge between you and me." Verse 6, "So Abraham said to Sarah, 'Indeed, your maid is in your hand.'" In other words, she's your property. You do with what you want to, okay? And that's what it says here. "Do to her as you please." And when Sarah dealt harshly with her, she fled from her presence. She took off, okay? "Now the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to Shur," S-H-U-R, okay? So, and then if you continue to read, she was met by this angel. The angel told her to go back and make amends, and he would make sure her family line was huge, gigantic, okay? And which was true, okay? In fact, there was a whole entire nation. And so we're going to fast forward a little bit. Hagar had a son, and she named him Ishmael, okay? Remember that? All right, if you don't, well, now you do now, okay? And he wouldn't be liked by very many people, all right? Unfortunately, he was going to be one of those bad kids, okay? Now, there's a friend of mine that I've known since kindergarten, and he's probably going to watch this. His name is Tom Osmussen, and we lived next door to each other. He was extremely well-liked. He was like the Isaac, and I wasn't well-liked at all, but by a few people back in the day, and my name would have been Ishmael. But to set the record straight on that situation, I caused a lot of that. So, all right, so it's all my fault, okay? Okay, on this, 14 years after Isaac was born, okay, now we're going to talk about Isaac, and this is when Abraham and Sarah finally had a son, 14 years later. He got a little bigger, and when he was weaned, which was, if you remember in some of my videos, they were between 2 and 4 years old. Basically, at the time, they could dress themselves, go to the bathroom by themselves. They could give them some food, and they could eat by themselves, you know. That's basically what they mean by weaned. Isaac started being bullied by Ishmael, okay? And that's in chapter 21, verses 8 and 9. And so Sarah saw this and told Abraham and said, you need to cast her out of here because she is causing problems. Her son is causing problems with Isaac. He's just a little boy, and here Ishmael is acting like a big bully, okay? And so they went into the wilderness, and they had no food and no water, and an angel of the Lord came and made a promise that out of Ishmael would be a great nation, and he would be, and then he provided a well of water, and this was in Genesis 21:16 through 20. And so because of Abraham's sin, this is my conclusion, because of Abraham's sin with Hagar, okay, the people of Isaac, which were the Jews, and the people of Ishmael, which were the Arabs, hated each other, and there was constant war and some major bloodshed. And so, the thing is when we get ahead of God and we do what we want to do, and even though he's given you a promise, you have got to wait on that promise, because I'm telling you, and I'm preaching to myself here. I am a living sacrifice. I'm a living testimony to this. When you get ahead of God and you decide you're going to do it your way, it's going to fail every time. And as the bishop of PEC, I would wait on the Lord and say, Lord, I just want an answer. If you could give me an answer. If I don't hear nothing, to me that's no, until you just absolutely give it. And I have wanted to do things within PEC, and I decided not to, because I just didn't feel that the Lord was leading that way. And, and everything worked out. And when, such as the ID card machine, let me talk about that in a minute. When we first took over, or was nominated and then elected into the position, they were these little blue cards that was just tiny. They were terrible, really. Okay, just going to put it out there. They really didn't give us very much credibility. And so what I started doing was getting people's pictures and putting people's pictures on these on separate cards that I made up on the computer, and then we'd laminate them. And that was a little bit better. But as I looked at those things, I was like, we can still do better. And I started praying about it, and I found this ID card machine online, but it was super expensive. And then there was a yearly subscription to run the program. And I was like, nah. And I kept pushing it aside. And I spoke to Anna about it, my wife, and she's the treasurer. And she's like, well, just think about it for a while. And I did. And a month goes by, and God is still pushing us to do this. Well, I do it, and I sent out everybody's cards, and I says, hey, this is what the Lord has given us. And I got so many letters and compliments stating that now they really feel that being in PEC really gave them credibility because of those cards. They're a hard plastic PVC card that's got their picture on it. I mean, it looks professional. You can't get any better than this. And our ministry has really come up just because of that. And so the thing is, appearance is really everything in this day and age. So you got to look good. You got to look credible, and you got to, everything you do has to be the best, or else people are just not going to take you serious. And so the thing is kind of got off that a little bit, but the thing is when you don't go in God's will, if you step outside of God's will, you're going to fail pretty much every time. Just slow down, take your time, think about it, pray about it. You get this idea, then go to God about it, because God gives you these ideas and He wants you to talk to Him about it. And so sometimes He gives you these ideas and still say no. All right, it's just obedience is what it is. Okay, so this is the last Stryper thing I'll be doing for probably for good. I've really reached out and we've really basically doubled our views once I started doing this. Hey, don't worry, I'll be back to normal, I guess, for y'all. Next one, okay? Hey, God bless and rock on, and we'll see you next time.